Hi everyone, it's Tasleem. I've been thinking about a big topic. Love. At the same time, as big as it feels, there's another part of me that thinks like it should be so simple. Because it's like at our heart, it's what we really are feeling and what we're really like our truth. But I guess it depends what you actually think love is or your experience of it, because oftentimes I think what we think love is, and I'm going to talk more, I know there's different types of love, but I'm going to concentrate more on romantic love. I think oftentimes when we think we're in love, we're actually in love with the idea of someone rather than the real someone. We're in love with what we think or what we want them to give us. And then when it becomes unrequited love, or if it's unrequited love, we pine over someone that doesn't want to be in our life or doesn't feel the same way as us. And I just remember so many times myself, as well as friends of mine, saying, but I love him, or but I love her. And when I look back on it, or when I hear it now, in those situations where someone is not loving you back, I'm like, is it really love? It doesn't feel like it from the outside. And when I was in it, it felt like it. But now when I can look back on the situations where I said that I love someone, or I thought that I was in love with someone, most of the time, I'd say 99% of the time, it was not love. I didn't even love myself enough to be like, how can you know when something is love if you don't love yourself enough? And then I think we say, I love you to people because we are operating at the level of how we love ourselves, which is oftentimes not enough. I have been thinking about this lately because I think that a lot of times we go around putting ourselves down for people that don't love us the way that we want them to, or we completely compromise ourselves and what feels good for us, all in the name of love. And I absolutely know that I truly, truly believe in love. But I also know that what I thought was love in the past was just a familiar feeling of something that actually was not love. It was like, I've spoken in other videos about what we learned love was growing up. We could have one parent or one, caretaker or one family member that was absolutely pure love for us, like my mom. But there could be other caretakers, other family members that were critical, were absent, were coming from their own wounding of not feeling loved enough in their family, of being pushed to be something that they're not, and still being told that they are loved, which can be really confusing when you're growing up, when you're young. And then when we grow up, when that kind of behavior happens to us from adults that we are in romantic relationships with, we say, oh yeah, of course, that's love. Like, I love that person. But we don't realize we've experienced that before. And just because it was a family member or a caretaker or someone that should love us or said that they loved us, I don't think it was really love. Like, I'm not saying all of us didn't have anyone that loved us. Definitely not. But I'm saying that a lot of the times our subconscious took in this idea that love is a roller coaster, or love is conditional, or love is abusive, or love is tainted with like this energy of, in order for me to really love you, you have to be a certain way or do certain things or sacrifice certain things for me. So of course, when we're in relationships as adults, those situations come along in a romantic situation and we are like, oh, I'm in love. Like, but we're not. I'm not saying you're not, because you might be in a relationship where you're in love, but I'm saying that a lot of times, I'm totally including myself in this, especially recently, I would say, like, I've heard friends and loved ones say like how much they love someone. And I just want to say, really? It's not that I don't think they're capable of loving someone, but the person that they love is not respecting their boundaries, doesn't care about their safety or well-being. They would rather hang on to them and get whatever they can out of them, even though the other person knows that they cannot give this person that thinks that they love them what they want, yet they won't let them go. And then we, as the chasers, say, it's okay because I love them. I don't think that's love. I think that is conditioning. I think that's hormones. That's investing time and energy in someone and then thinking, like, creating this fantasy in our heads that that's what love is. But I remember, so India Arie is an amazing singer-songwriter to me, and her actual, one of her artists who passed away a few years ago, Blue Miller, who was a guitarist, but he wrote a lot of the songs and lyrics that she, that I loved of hers. And I saw her in concert a couple of times, and she said in one of her concerts that Stevie Wonder, even though he's blind, like, and they're such good friends, he put his hand, so she confided a lot in him about her life, and especially her love life, and he put his hands on her shoulder, on her shoulders, and even though he's blind, looked her straight in the face, like as if he's looking at her in her eyes, and he said, India, love does not hurt. Love should not hurt. And she shared this with us in a moment that, like, it was more of an intimate concert. It wasn't a big stage. It was a smaller venue. And I felt what she was saying, especially the way that she said it, and probably because she was repeating what Stevie Wonder said in the way that he would have said it. And I was like, yeah, it should not hurt. And when I think of a lot of the times that I thought I was in love or said I love you to someone, or someone said that they love me, there was a lot of hurt connected in there. And you could say, yeah, but when things don't work out, it's hurt. It feels like hurtful. But I think a lot of times things don't work out, not just because, you know, there are situations that, like, unfortunately, it just wasn't the right fit or right circumstances, but a lot of times because it wasn't actually love. And I'm so grateful that I didn't end up with those people that I realized, like, that wasn't love. not only do I realize now they could not have loved me because they didn't even know how to love themselves, but when I was saying I love you, I wasn't lying, but I didn't really understand what love was. And to me, love is so different now for me. I would never say it in the same way that I did before. I would never say it for the same reasons or for the same circumstances. It's so different for me now. So I think the other thing is that I think love can mean different things to us in different stages of our lives. And love can mean different things to each one of us because of our experiences in our lives of being loved growing up or from our past. So love is this like mysterious thing to me because I think what I can hold on to is that notion that love should not hurt. Love does not hurt. I think people would say that's like really naive and unrealistic and stuff, but I'm sticking with it. I have shared a video with you about, like, you know, the funny thing about life is that when you refuse to accept anything but the best, you very often get it. That was a quote I shared with you guys. I'm sticking to refusing to get, I'm only gonna accept the best. And for me, the best means that love will not hurt. I totally agree with Stevie Wonder. I'm so glad that India reshared those words with us, because that's how I see love. I thought I was in love with people in the past, and now I realize I couldn't have known enough, and I didn't love myself enough to be able to say that and mean it in the way that I would mean it now. And I'm so curious what your thoughts are on love. Have you caught yourself saying I love you to people and later realizing it wasn't love? Are you in something that's really deeply loving and you can feel how it is love? How would you define love? Or do you think love is definable? I would love to hear, I would love to hear from you guys. Yeah, it's just something that has been mulling around in my brain, maybe in my heart, for a few days, especially lately. And then today I just couldn't wait to just put this out there. So thanks for listening.